Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of all of my September spreads from September. Planner spreads from September. I'm all discombobulated right now. So anyway, thanks for joining me live. I see a few of you guys have already started jumping in on the chat, which is awesome. Just feel free to leave me any questions that you may have there, as well as, tell us who you are, where you're tuning in from. If you haven't already, we'd love to know who is joining in. So, so briefly, I guess to start, I had some questions asking me about these chat live situations and wanting to know a little bit more about me personally. So if you guys have any questions for me about, my life, my lifestyle, feel free to drop those in the chat as well. It doesn't just have to be about planning. I do want to have a conversation, so I don't want to just talk at you during these videos. So if that's something that you want to know more about, just like how I'm living my life, I'd be happy to share some tidbits with you guys. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those into the chat. Otherwise, we'll be going through all of my After the Pens from September. I'll showcase a little bit of my planner setup as it currently stands, along with the different sections that I do planning in. I have 5 different planners in this one kind of catch-all Frankenplanner here, and I'll show you how those spreads came out from the last month and how I'm using it functionally, so you guys can get some ideas for planning in your own planners. I'm just going to quickly check on the chat, see if there's any questions that have come in, but it looks like no. I see a lot of you guys jumping on though and saying hello, so thank you. I see Janet and Wendy, and I see Stacy. Okay, she says, I love the cover. Do you have any kids or pets? No to both. We had pets a while back, but we haven't had pets in many, many years. So yeah, it's just me and my husband, and we, just carry on, the 2 of us. Hi Kathy, I see you jumped on. Okay, I'll get started, but again, I will keep track of the chat and see, if anything comes in, I'll try to answer it as I see it. And yeah, thanks again for joining me, you guys. Okay, so first one thing I want to talk about is this cover. I did do a DIY planner refresh for fall pretty recently, like mid-September, and I did give away a freebie cover that I DIY'd in that video. I ended up going back to this cover from last year. I just really liked the deep tones of it, and just like, I don't know, the deep color. It just really got me in the fall mood. So I ended up putting the other one away for a little bit and bringing this one out for a while, just because I was into this like fall feels, and I really wanted to bring this cover out for a little bit. So I have that, and I replaced that for the cover. I do see a question about when I am moving and where. Okay, so yeah, I talk about this briefly in some of my Plan With Me's and goals videos. So we were planning to move late summer, and some things got changed up, so now it's kind of on hold. But we were planning to move to Texas. We live currently in Southern California. We were planning to move to Texas, and yeah, so right now we're in this weird state of limbo. Half the house is packed. It's really weird. But we're working through it and figuring out things as we go. But for now, we're still here, and we'll see how the Lord leads, so as they say. Okay, so yeah, so we're talking about the cover. I also just went ahead and put my pin loop on there, and I'll briefly go over the front of my planner a little bit here too, just so you guys can see how I'm using it. All right, so let's get into that. So yeah, like I said, I did a fall refresh on my full Frankenplanner setup, and I have this really cute sticky dash. It's got some fall feels in here. I also have my lovely dashboard set that I finally did get in my shop, in case you were wondering. So if you are interested in these dashboards, they are available for purchase in my shop. They are set up a little bit differently than how I DIY'd them, but I think it's going to make it better than the way that I did it. I was excited to do this kind of book page look, and I actually printed it in reverse on the back of the vellum, and then I printed the header on top like that, so it kind of gives it like a ghosted feel. But as you're going to see here as I turn the page, the ink is rubbing off, so I decided to build it so that it was just like a lighter shade of book page on the front with this, so you only have to print one side if you do that. But that is in my shop, and you can customize the headers. It's my first time doing an editable file, so any feedback you guys have if you end up purchasing it would be greatly appreciated, because I really, you know, I think I did it so that it's best case scenario for most people, but I'm not really sure, since I tend to print, the way that I print, and I can usually customize things. So if something's not working, I would love feedback on it so that I can do better next time. But anyway, so I have these sections in my planner. I have 6 dividers here on the side, which is how I organize the main sections. I have an inbox, I have my goals, productivity, schedules, and then reference. And and then at the very, very back, I have notes for just notes pages. So those are like the main sections. We're going to spend most of our time in the schedule section. And then in the schedule section is where I use all of these top tabs up here to navigate. And I'll talk a little bit about that when we get there. Okay, so yeah, I have my inbox, which is basically just the getting things done inbox, available in my shop, but I'm using the David Allen method so that you can, get things done. And I have different inserts available in my shop. These are the ones that I ended up using for my inbox, and that's how it stands there. I've got my goals section, and again, my divider dashboard. And this was all DIY this year. I have my goals vision board on one side, and then my quarterly goals broken up, as well as the review. I will be doing my quarter 3 goal review soon, so that will be probably up up as a video soon on my channel. So I have that. Then we next have productivity, and that one is just got some items for me to help be more productive, like this Kanban board I made for my portfolio, which is back on the to-do list. And then I have my monthly cleaning list, which I have not updated since June. Things have been a little hectic, but I really like this because you can, wipe it off and reuse it over and over again. So I've got that in there as well. And okay, we're going to jump into the main section for today, which is my schedule section. And in here is where anything that is like basically a dated planner is going to live. So like I said, I have 5 different planners in here. At the front, I have a year overview. So I've got my year at a glance with my future log, which I use to do all my future planning, with a key here that kind of helps me color coordinate things and keep track of dates and events that are happening. And then we jump right into the first planner, which is my faith planner. So my faith planner, like I said, 5 different planners. I navigate using these top tabs in each of the planners in the morning. So I only touch the pages basically where there's a tab, so I don't have to flip back and forth and maybe miss something. I like to just go 1, 2, 3 through my tabs and easily know when I've completed all the pages I need to complete for my morning kind of planner setup. So that's how I'm using it. Some of these are already moved into the October month, but I'm still in the last week of the September month because of today being the 1st. So we have a few of them that are kind of hanging in there that are need to be moved into the next month after today. I see a few more things come in the chat, so before we get started, let's see, we've got a hello from Oregon. Hi, I think Ellie. And then Janet, where do you get your verse of the day? Is it in an app? So yes, I do I do use an app to get the verse of the day. The app I use is called like YOU version Bible app. So it's a Bible app. It's got like a little brown icon, And I really like that app. I do pretty much everything in it. In the morning, I have my Bible in a year daily plan in there. So I just read it right there and it all kind of feeds in. I don't have to think about it. I also get the verse of the day in that app as well. And then if I ever need to like reference the Bible, I can just do it all on my phone. So it's really nice just to kind of have it there handy. And let's see. Yeah, I know it's available, I think, for both Android and iPhone. So I do recommend it. I'm not affiliated with the denomination or the church or anything like that. It's just a really good app that I found. And it works really well and is very clean and easy to use. And hello, we got another hello in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the faith. And so last month I did a Fruits of the Spirit theme. It was just kind of came to me. I had bought some new stickers on Amazon and Stationery Pal and found these like really cool fruit stickers, and I thought that would be a really good theme for faith. So I went ahead and did that up, kind of got a vintagey theme to it. And then on this monthly, I ended up, I always now this year, I've been using this for doing what I call the takeaway or the summary of my Bible reading of the day. So it's just some little application that I'm going to grab out of the reading that I can use, to apply to my life to make it a little bit more meaningful. And it also helps me with concentration in the morning because I tend to listen to the Bible versus actually like actively reading it. And so it helps me actively listen a little bit better. So I do it this way. I'm not a big journaler. I don't like to write a lot. So this is just the right amount of commitment for me as far as writing something down from the Bible or kind of regurgitating what I've read. So that's what I've used this monthly for all year. That's been working out really good. I also track whatever verses that I am actually reading or chapters I'm reading from the Bible that day from the app. Okay, so that was how the month turned out. And then for this next spread, these inserts, by the way, are all in my shop, available in my Etsy shop. I do use a lot of my own printables just because I've found that I was having a hard time finding what I wanted out in the world, and so I ended up building my own inserts, and then now I have a shop because other people need them too. So that was a nice little benefit. But yeah, so I tend to use my own inserts. I made this insert this year, which is called the Faith Overview. And it basically is a faith-based kind of like spread to help you on a monthly view see like maybe like a little bit of a spiritual check-in here. It's got a prayer list area, some habits you may want to be checking for faith, and then a lot of empty space that you could basically customize to do whatever you want to do. So this is how I've been using it. I like to put a verse each month at the top here in this kind of dot grid area. And of course I said this one was the fruits of the Spirit, so I went ahead and put in that verse. This is included in the insert, so it has a whole little kind of like currently vibe, but spiritually based. And so I fill that in every month. I also have my running prayer list, which I tend to like to separate out things that I'm praying for that are outside of myself, and then things that are kind of more here, like myself or, personal requests. So that's how I divide that up. I also have the 4 things I do in the morning related to faith. I have my prayer, reading, lettering, and then that summary that's there on the monthly. So I just keep track of when I do that. Let's see. I see something in the chat. Let's see, my phone died and I missed it. Okay. Oh no. Okay, so anyway, I have this set up, and again, I really liked this. I kind of tried to pull the colors from the fruit, so I had 5 different pens I used this month. I grabbed these from my Arteza Twi marker supply, and these ones are kind of nice because they have a brush tip on one side, and then they also have a really fine kind of felt tip on the other. So those two I used to use, or these pens I used to use all when I first started, and I haven't used them very much recently, but I've started to pick them up again, and they're really good except for brush lettering. They look like they would be good for brush lettering, but the tip is really soft. That was the only downside, but I really like how many colors you get and how fine the fine liner tip is on these. So those were the colors that I had pulled and used each week, which you'll see here in the lettering section. And okay, so here's the first week, and I did oranges. Well, I guess some of these are oranges maybe, and then some other kind of citrus orange fruit. So I did orange and black on this one. So each one will be color coded each week with the color of the fruit that is there. And I do this verse of the day lettering. So just briefly, if you're new, I am using a Quadrant layout from my shop. Found this is the best way for me to have enough room to do the lettering that I want to do in a kind of neat and tidy way. And I just like the look of it when it's all done. It's just the most comfortable I found for lettering. So yeah, I take that app, the YouVersion Bible app, and gosh, I can't even talk. Sorry, you guys, losing it. I use that, and it feeds in a verse of the day each day, and I take that and then I do this lettering practice. I do have a video series about kind of how I go about lettering and how you can get some tips on starting a lettering journey like this. Like I said, I'm not much of a journaler, so this was a really good way for me to kind of get more into the Word and not be too committed to like journaling feelings and things like that. And it also combined something that I wanted to do, which was to practice my lettering a bit more. So that's how I've been using the Faith planner that I have and this Quadrant layout. So I only missed one day, I think, this month, and that was Monday. I'm usually pretty good about going back, but it's been a little bit crazy in my life lately, so I've just been giving myself grace and letting things go. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. So I went ahead and let that one go, but I did, I think, keep track of all, or keep up with all the other days. This one I ended up picking out this red to go with the red, the apple and the red, and this is how it turned out. Let me know if you guys want to know any details about anything that you're seeing here. But basically, the process is the same every morning. I do this, interpretation of the verse, and then, yeah, it's just all part of my morning system. And then this one was, I don't know what kind of fruit this was supposed to be, like maybe a pear or something. So I did try to match up the colors as best I could. You can see some of them were a little bit more bold than the actual vintage tones, but I think it worked out okay for the most part. The verse, or the app, was doing a small series about, I guess, blessed. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was like for a week they were pulling out these verses from Matthew 5 about blessed is, blessed are, and so you'll see there's a lot of these verses here on this week and then the beginning of next week. And then this one was today, actually. I finished this one up today. And yeah, a few more of those blessed verses, and then, yeah, some other ones. It really depends on the morning how these go. Sometimes I'm in the zone and I feel like I have a good idea, and then sometimes I just don't. And I just do whatever and try things and see how it comes out. And that's pretty much it. I do decorate the back page, but I haven't really been using it most of the year, so that's pretty much how I leave it. And that's my Faith Planner. Normally I would move this out and put it in my Faith Planner, but most of these other spreads are still in flux, so I'm not going to go ahead and I'm just going to skip that part for the Faith because the other ones aren't ready anyway. And yeah, so I'd move it out and then move in the new month, which is October, but I already have October in because that is today. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead to the next planner, unless you guys have any questions that you want to ask me. And yeah, let's move into the next planner, which is my health planner. So again, these are all going to be inserts from my shop. I have a monthly spread. And for my health planner, I also have been theming it out with all of the monthly pages in the same theme. However, I don't really record the setup of my health monthly pages because I tend to just do something fairly minimal, although this month I went a little crazy with the coffee stamps and just, I don't know, I was having fun. So I just went all out with all these stamps. So these are actually like washi sticker stamps and some coffee being washi. This, I got a lot of these stickers I got recently in that haul, and then since National Coffee Day was on the 29th, I thought I would just do the whole month in this kind of fun theme. So I have that. My monthly for my health has been for a few different items. In the center is where I'm tracking just if I did a workout. So there was a lot of days I didn't work out. So if there's just a little line, that means I didn't work out. But if there was something written, that was a workout. I also have at the top, those are like little notes for myself if it's related to my health somehow. Just anything that's pertinent for how I was feeling that day or health-wise. So I'll put those at the top, and then at the bottom in the kind of highlighted area is my fasting situation. So I've been doing one meal a day for the last, 4 or 5 months now. And it's been working out really well for me. I do kind of let my fasting window fluctuate depending on the day. Some days I'm fine, but some days maybe I don't eat enough or I work out really hard and I feel like I need a snack later. So occasionally I do break the 1 meal a day kind of like 2-hour window that I tend to stick to for that fasting. So it's just good to keep track of, when I start and when I end. I'm not too strict on starting and ending either. I just kind of, when I'm ready to eat, I eat, and then I try to cut it off 2 hours later. So that's how I've been doing it. And like I said, it's been working out pretty well for me. And this is where I track it. So this next overview is my health overview layout. Again, something in my shop. And this one has a nice setup up here for tracking monthly stats. There's also a place where you could track your like starting weight for the month and your body mass index, as well as your measurements. I have mine covered because we're not where we're at the place where we're ready to share, but that's where you can put it, and that's all built in along with some lined area down here, which I use for kind of doing a check-in at the end of the month, like a health goals check-in. Just see how I'm doing, have a few questions or prompts, and then I answer those. On this side, I've got a space for some health goals, which I just write in a few small things to keep in mind. Here I do my habit tracking. So I like to track how many steps I took, if I got over 7,000 steps that day, closed my rings, bonus points, which are here, and I'll talk about that in a sec, and then if I worked out more than 30 minutes. So I really don't get enough steps. When I look at it as a whole, I think I do more than I do. So it's really good to see it here just kind of in print and how well I actually do. So that's something I want to work on. The bonus points here, this was like a suggestion sort of from one of my subscribers to kind of do small wins. And I thought that's a really good idea. And I kind of just tailored it here and called it bonus points. Basically have a list of items that would count as bonus points if I did them. And that's been working out really good. I have been tracking those on the weekly if I do complete bonus points, but I also will put it here in the habit tracker. So it's a nice way to just kind of see where I did a little extra on certain days to kind of get those small wins. And okay, so we've got that. And like I said, this is in my shop if you are curious. All of the layouts that I'm using should be linked below in the description too. So if you are looking for something in particular, just check the video description. I believe I have links to everything in there as well. And if you can't find what you're looking for, just leave it in the comments and I'll find it for you. Okay, so this is my first week of September in my health planner. And this one was a really fun one. I did do a plan with me on this. I used a fairly new Happy Planner book, which I'm not going to remember the name, but I tried to do some different ideas with layouts for these lined vertical. They can be a little bit constricting because, you know, the way that I use these, I have quite a bit of content that I need to have room for vertically on the page. So over half the page basically really needs to be open for writing in stuff, if not more, depending on how much I'm eating that day. So it's, you know, it's kind of tricky, but I want to try different things and see, you know, just fresh ways to use the layout. So this was kind of a new way to have this slight diagonal pattern with a couple of highlights in the corners. I liked how this turned out a lot and was able to maintain or use it functionally as well. And then this was the second week. I did this kind of apple theme. I really actually love the gradient of the apples at the top. And I like this, but I don't know if I like them together. It looks good, but I don't know. I feel like they compete with each other for attention. So it might have been better to have this lower on the page or something. But I really did like the apples and just kind of this gradient effect. I use this to track the following things. I do my stats, which is basically my workout stats from my Apple Watch. I track what I ate that day, and then if I worked out, I usually have a space for working out. And then these bonus, if I had a bonus point situation, I add those in as well. This one was super fun, a little bit unorthodox, honestly, for a start of fall spread, but I really loved how these kind of gradient backgrounds turned out. Even though they're not like screaming fall, it felt like it worked. So with these Planny Thing stickers and this like washi banner I made, it really turned out really cute. And the colors were kind of energizing, which I do find to be helpful when I do health planning. So this was just a really fun one to be in. Tracking the same things like I mentioned. We've got workouts, stats, food log, and any bonuses. I also have my hydration tracker, which is an add-on that I added to just the plain lined vertical layout from my shop so that I could use it as a health planner. Let's see. Is the apple washi tape? No, it's not washi tape. So these apples here were individually placed, and yeah, I believe, do a video on this, a plan with me if you wanted to kind of see. But yeah, so it was a really fun one to create that vibe. And then what sticker brand are these again? So these ones here were actually from the Happy Planner, from an older teacher sticker book. And then the So Long, Summer, Hello, Fall. These quotes are also a Happy Planner. That's from like a Happy Planner Fall sticker book. But the people are from Planny Thing. Amber at Planny Thing. She's a small shop based out of Amsterdam, and she's got some really cute stuff. This is one of her sticker books here. So she's got this like yellow tone pretty much on all of her sticker books. But I really love that she does sticker books. I would do so many more shops if they had sticker books, but I just can't afford the cost of individual sticker sheets. So sticker books for me are the only way I can pretty much afford to keep this habit. So I really like that she does sticker books. There's a few other ones out there that are doing sticker books. I think Amber Plans Her Day and Live Love Posh. Heather Kell, I think, also do sticker books. But I do wish more shops would do them, especially ones that do their own artwork, which some of them are just so beautiful, but I mean, for $5 a sticker sheet, I can't afford to just buy stickers that I think are pretty. Let's see, I see something else in the thing. Okay, it looks great. I'm gonna check them out. Yeah, so yeah, these individual quotes though are from a different sticker book. I like to mix and match sticker books. So this one was from the Happy Planner, the quotes, and then the images from Planything. And then this is the one we're actually in today. I'm going to go ahead and move out my dashboard. And this one was super fun to make, and I really just, I mean, it's been great to be in. I love the vibes of this one. Obviously, coffee day was on the 29th, and I actually did get a coffee, which was kind of fun. But yeah, just kind of doing this coffee theme mixed in with different items. Excuse me. I had some stickers that I got from Amazon that were like a washi roll of stickers, but they were individually die cut. And I used those and really just loved how this turned out. And then also to adding the stains and everything. Yeah, I see that, Natasha, you can relate to the sticker sheet dilemma. It is tough. There's so many beautiful artists out there that do wonderful stickers and just things that I would totally buy, but it's really, you know, if you don't have all the money in the world, you have to pick and choose your battles. So that's where I stick with the sticker books. So today is the 1st. I will end up filling this out tomorrow morning. So I have, again, to keep this guy stuck in there. But yeah, pretty much everything is the same aside from, you know, the decor, what I'm tracking in here. And I really did. I'm going to be sad to turn the page on this one. Okay. And on the very back page, I actually replaced this page out in all of my health planners with a habit tracker from my shop that I customized. Let me make sure it's in view here. So this guy, it usually says just habit tracker at the top and then just habits here in this kind of brown area. But everything else is the same, and you can use it over and over depending on whatever month you're in. So I've been using this to track the meds and supplements that I take on a regular basis, along with the kind of symptoms that I have for my chronic illnesses down here at the bottom. And I had a lot of medication updates and supplement updates over the months. So I had some varying changes that I made here, but overall, it's been really good just to kind of see at a glance what I was taking and when, and then how that kind of trickles down to how I'm feeling later on, and I can kind of correlate what is working maybe and what isn't, or what's affecting me. So I really do like this system of kind of this health check-in for me for my chronic illness. And so I highly recommend something like this if you're struggling to figure out some causes or things like that with your own maybe chronic illness or triggers or things like that. It's a good way to kind of see at a glance what is working, what isn't, with whatever you're, you know, trying to medicate with or supplement with, but then also to what, you know, how you're feeling in certain time frames as well, and if you're affected by cycles or weather, things like that. And oh, I see somebody mentioned too and loves PET tape. Oh yeah, I love PET tape as well. That's a new passion of mine. I found some from the washi tape shop, and I didn't know how great it was until I tried it, and now I'm in love with it. So I got to find more of it, actually. I really like PET tape. And okay, so I have October already in there, and I believe, yeah, we're pretty much all set up. I also have a perpetual calendar here at the back of my health that I track my weight daily, along with my steps as well, just as another kind of running list of my daily weight. It's just a way for me to keep track of that, and so that's in there, but again, we'll keep that closed so you don't have to see that. Yeah. Okay, so we are moving on to the next planner, which is my daily planner. And so for this guy, again, these are all inserts from my shop. I have my monthly overview here, which I am using now for my memory a day keeping. I was using it as a schedule, but I've swapped it out with what I have at the back, which is a single page month. And that's now my schedule, and this is where I am doing my kind of just quick synopsis of my day, kind of a memory of the day. This, I really loved this month's theme with the leaves, but still like in a gradient fall color scheme. Really turned out really beautiful. Loved being in this. In the sidebar here, I use it to track the TV I've been watching and then any like books, audiobooks that I was reading. So I had a lot going on as far as that this month, and added that in there. And then here, like I said, I just kind of write in what's happening with me that day, just a little snippet so I can remember each day from the next, because things start to blur when you get to work from home and you don't do much. So I really like having this kind of little snippet to look back on. And then here is my third overview option for kind of like this in-between page I've added this year. So this one is the month overview, and I've customized it to be very social oriented over here, but the one in my shop is a lot simpler, where there's nothing down here as far as social relation, or up here it's just like a blank month and then some blank area down here below. This nice long checklist and habit trackers. So the way I've been using this one is to have my kind of running monthly to-do list. So anything that comes up that doesn't need to be done on a specific week, but I want to get to fairly soon, I've been putting here. I also have my habits. This one is, you know, if I went outside, which is obviously a big deal for me because it's fairly empty the month. I don't go out that much because I work from home. It's just, I don't know why it just seems like more trouble than it's worth. So when I do go out, it gets its own little circle and it makes me feel good. I have my AM PM skincare here. I have, if I did read an audiobook or had book time, I have that there. And then my PT stretching, which I pretty much abandoned. I barely do anything anymore. So I have it there, but it's, you know, it's just there for looks, basically. Yeah. And then over here, this is where I keep track of my daily subscribers and followers on Instagram and YouTube. And then I just have like a little chart here to keep track of the monthly stats and some weekly to-do items for social. And here is my horizontal overview. So that's how I'm using my, what I call my daily planner. It's not a daily planner per se, but I've called it daily since I started it. It is a weekly horizontal planner, but yeah, that's how I've been using it, or been calling it. So September, first week, this one was super fun. It was like a layering, not a layering challenge, but it was just fun to like layer all these kind of fall type items, but it was more of like a transitional spread because it wasn't quite fall yet, but it started to get you in the mood for fall. So this was really fun. And I did do a plan with me on it if you want to see that. I use my horizontal in a few different ways. Let's see, I would love, sorry, there, I just saw something in the chat. I would love this, a sticker book from, what does it say? From the ampersands. Oh, you mean this one here? This ampersand came out of a Happy Planner sticker book, and it was just one. And oh, I'd have to go back to the plan with me because I cannot remember which book it was out of. I want to say maybe cyanotype or one of those kind, or maybe the indigo one. I'll have to check. I really will have to check. But yeah, it was just this one sticker and I really loved it too. So I can relate, Janet. But yeah, so this one was a really fun one. And remind me if that wasn't enough of an answer for you. I can go back and find it. Yeah, there is always just that one, Janet, the sticker. Yeah, we should have a heart-to-heart about Happy Planner books recently. I don't know. I feel like there's just not enough decor in the Happy Planner books. Am I alone on this, you guys? Have you seen? I don't know. They have some really cute ideas for decor, but then I feel like it's all boxes and functional items. And yeah, it's just a little disappointing. I really wish they would do more decor in their sticker books. Let's see. Let's see. Are you going to consider bringing back the monthly challenges, Kathy? Yeah, I don't know. Planogram over there, Catherine over at Planogram, she has been super busy. I haven't even seen her on social lately, so I could do it alone, but it's a lot of work, and I really enjoyed, the working with her on it. We would, combine our skills and get things done, and it wasn't too much, but she's been really busy, so it would really depend on how her schedule frees up if we brought him back. But I do kind of miss the challenges, so I understand, Kathy. Even myself, I struggle to figure out what I want to do each week now versus having something kind of set up. That was nice for a time. But yeah, for now, probably not. If anything, it would be next year at the earliest if it was going to do anything at all. So, okay. So, yeah. Anyway, back to this. Okay, so yeah, I talked about the Happy Planner books. Just a little side note about my take on the Happy Planner books. And then this spread, yeah, I really enjoyed. This one was also a really good one. I had some fun this month with these spreads. I really love the sunflower theme. I think these were from an older Plan Anything sticker book. Still my favorites from her. There were 2 books that she brought out last year in the fall that were just gorgeous and just had so many good themes in there. So one of them was these sunflowers. I combined those with some Happy Planner kind of functional stickers and quotes, and yeah, it's usually how things come together lately. It's been mostly like decor from Plan Anything, and then boxes and functional support items, quotes from the Happy Planner. So that is how this one turned out. It's just a really fun, fresh yellow. And yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. And I guess I haven't really talked about how I use my layout quite yet. So if, again, you're new and you're not familiar with the way that I tend to structure my planner, in my horizontal, I like to have a running to-do list for the day, some kind of checklist. I also like to have what I call a focus box or focus area, and that's usually just some highlight that I want to call out for the day that is maybe an event or something important that I want to keep front of mind. And then there's room for decor. So on each of my spreads, there's always got to be room for at least the 2 main functional items outside of the decor. And you'll see that in all of my spreads. It's just a way for me to really, not over design a spread. You can get carried away when you're having fun making, pretty items, but if you can't use the planner, I feel like that's pointless. You want to use the planner and actually get what you're supposed to get out of it, which is the planning, the organization, and then the decor just kind of helps engage you and bring you into the planner and use it. That's how I see it. So, yeah. Okay, so yes, there's that. And this one was a really beautiful one. I really liked being in this as well. This one has a lot of gradient, lots of copper detail too. I don't know if you guys are seeing the copper on the quotes. But yeah, this was a nice one. And here's where we are today. I see a question in the chat from, I think, Alicia. How do you use the cross-off slash for your to-dos? Okay, yeah, I would love to talk about that. So I found this technique, kind of borrowed this from bullet journaling and found it to be really useful. So the way that I check off my to-do list is as follows. I will do a bullet kind of in preparation, but you could do like a checkbox or anything like that. And then I will do a 1/ if something is started. So like, for example, here I had started designing my health weekly, but I didn't finish. So I'll do 1/ if I start it and don't finish. If I finish it, I will recross it, so that'll be crossed out, finished. And then if it's something that I didn't get to, I use an arrow going to the right, and that means that I'm going to push it forward into my planner. Those three symbols are the ones you'll see the most. Occasionally you'll see a backwards arrow pointing to the left, and that's when something is, say, just not going to happen in the near future, and I'm going to schedule it out somewhere farther out. Like here where I had the scheduled doctor's appointments, I knew I wasn't going to get to it, so I went ahead and put the arrow going that way, meaning I'm going to put it maybe on my monthly to-do list, or I'll put it even maybe in my future log if it's something like that where I can move it out, or even into my getting things done inbox if it's one thing that I just know I'm not going to have time for. So that's how I use those. Some of these I just do standard check marks when they're not in my normal checklist, if it's just like an item for the day, but that's how I use the slash and the arrow key. So like I said, this is kind of borrowed from bullet journaling, and they call that, there's a key. So there's a bullet key, I guess. I don't know how else to describe it, key symbols. And there's different ways to do this, but that's the way that I've been doing it, and I really love it. I find that it makes it a lot easier to keep track of where I'm at with certain items and how to maneuver them and migrate them forward. Okay, so I didn't even talk about this spread yet. Okay, so yes, this was the last spread that I did, and this one was super fun. It was kind of like a fall neighborhood. I wanted to do something, again, a little different. I always try to mix it up. I don't want my spreads to look all the same all the time. So this one was more of like a horizontal, but with highlights around. And again, still thinking about functionality, so I needed to have enough room on each day for those main items. So I worked it right in the center between these 2 days so I could have space on the top and the bottom. And this one, planning thing stickers along with some Happy Planner quotes and narrative hues color overlays, which are fun to bring in every so often for some added color. I also sometimes put sticky notes here on my spreads when there's something that I'm going to do over and over again, like this one here where I do my measurements at the end of the month. I want to make sure I remember, so I have it here, and then I'll just move it to the next month, and that way I don't have to do it over and over. Or if it's something that's like I might have to migrate to the next week. Okay, so that was the last spread for my September daily. And then I also have here this single page month that I'm using as my scheduling. Loud motor there. Okay, so I have my scheduling. So I have this all themed out again with that same theme from the beginning. And here is where I keep track of like things that are happening, events, appointments, and things I want to remember. This usually gets filled in first from the future log, then it comes in, and then if I'm actually in the month and it's something that comes up within a couple of days, I'll just write it right on here, and I don't have to do too much future planning. But sometimes it comes from this guy here, and sometimes it comes right when I'm writing it down, if that makes sense. I also started a bucket list. I'm not exactly thrilled with the look of my bucket list this year, but I am trying to keep track of those things that are on it. I'll show you guys the bucket list in case you haven't seen it yet. It's a little bit rough. I don't know, I was on the struggle bus with this, but I really like this idea of these sticky leaves. So if I want to pre-plan some bucket list items, I can just stick them on and be like, okay, today we're going to do this. And so if it happens, I can write it in, and if not, I can move it forward, or I can repeat those bucket list items. So in theory, the functionality of the bucket list has been awesome. I just don't like the look of how it turned out. And that happens sometimes, but I posted it anyway in case you guys want to see how I did it and want to know more, or maybe get some ideas for your own bucket list. But I have been using it that way with those little sticky leaves on there, and that turned out really cute. Okay, so that's the end of my daily horizontal planner here. And we have one more to talk about, which is my hourly. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump ahead. So my hourly layout is still coming to my shop. I was working through how I wanted to design it, but some of the things are available, like, of course, my monthly overview. And so the monthly overview for this is very functional. I've been using this to basically track my social media posts. I've been also putting in some theme ideas as they come to me and trying to schedule those in. So that's basically what I'm using here. And these are like videos and Instagram or, Instagram posts basically. So that's how I'm using those, very functionally, not a lot of stickers or anything. Then we have my hourly goals, which I am in the process of figuring out what we're going to do for October. I'm not quite there yet. So this is how the last one turned out. And this one was good as well. Again, something a little bit different. Got some fall themes, but with some brighter colors. This is available in my shop, this spread. It's called, I think, Goals and Tasks layout, if you are interested. I do a monthly setup of this, as long, everything from the decor to the actual goal setting. So if you want to know more about this, there are videos showing you how to use this layout. But yeah, so this is how it turned out. I did go back and try to beef up the weight of these after I did the video. I don't know, they still look a little bit, I don't know, faded or something. I'm not in love with that look, but other than that, I think it turned out good. And I still have some items here to check off for Sunday, so this is technically still in progress. The dashboard. Oh, the hot cocoa dashboard from the back of that. Yeah, this one was from last year. It's one of those ones I really, really liked. So this is my hourly grid layout that, again, this is going to be coming to my shop. Last time we talked, I was trying to figure out what you guys thought about the black line dividers versus maybe a lighter gray or what have you. I'm still on the fence on how to go proceed on that. I need to do a poll, find out what you guys would prefer, but I'm thinking maybe dark gray, and maybe so it's a little bit lighter than this, but still defining, so you could see the divisions of the days. And I'm not real sure if I want to keep the one here at the very edge or what. I don't know. I don't know why I'm waffling on this, but there's so much so much going on, and I just want to make sure it looks good before I put it out there. So this is how I'm using it. I've talked about how I use this to pre-plan. So I do like a time blocking situation with these sticky flags, and so it's like a little planner hack. I do have a video on that just describing the whole setup of this. So that's how I pre-plan everything, and then as the day goes through, I actually write in what I did. And I color code as well, so anything that's like in black is just kind of like my standard stuff. Anything that's in green is like a rest or kind of a downtime type of situation. Blue is goals or work-oriented type things, and then red is something more active, like being out and about or working out, things like that. So that's how I use it, and I fill it in each day so I can kind of see how I'm actually using my time. And at the top, I put in any major things that I'm working on for each day. So it's not necessarily smaller like home tasks. It's more the type of things like, work-related, goal-related items that I tend to put up here. So that's that. And then over here is just my video scheduling chart that I use to kind of keep track of the video production, and a this week checklist as well. Thanks for the feedback, Stacy. You would go a little lighter. Okay, good to know. So this was the next week, and this day I was gone all day at Disney with a friend, so I didn't bother trying to fill in the time that we spent there, but for the most part, if it's a productive day, that's how I will be tracking it. And everything else is pretty much the same. I have played around with adding a little bit of decor on these spreads, and I like having a little touch of decor, not too much. These are very functional, as I said, but a little bit of decor does kind of help bring this to life a bit. And then this one here was the next week. This is, I think, kind of the one I've settled on that I like the best. Adding a little bit of color here at the top with a nice strip of color defining the sections, and then kind of a deeper black pen for the headers, and then a little bit of decor like a sticker at the bottom. That's like perfect, I think. So this was a good ideal spread for how I would do it. And then this is the week that we're in. So I keep those little stickies on this dashboard when I'm not using them so that they're easy to pull on and off. And then as you can see, I kind of just have this day set up. I already knew I was definitely doing this at 3 o'clock, so I have that pre-planned, but anything that could fluctuate, I leave in the sticker until it happens, and then I will fill it in. So that's how that's working. And you can kind of see how this week turned out. Paper, let's see, what type of paper do I use? It is down below in the description. I like the HP Premium 32 paper. It's a pretty affordable paper, but it's really nice and smooth, and the quality is great for double-sided printing. Doesn't have much bleed through unless you're using a really heavily inked pen. So it's a really great paper. The best that I've found that isn't like crazy absorbent in price or thickness. You know, it's thick enough, but it's not too thick. I would say it's thicker than most of the store-bought planners you're gonna get, but not crazy like watercolor thick, if you know what I mean. So it's a really good paper, and yeah, like I said, it should be down below in the description if you want to check it out. You can get a ream like on Amazon for under 20 bucks. And okay, so that's the end of that. I've already got October moved in, and at the very, very back, we have my finance planner, which we don't go through, but I do have a budget setup video if you just kind of want to see how I use it. But that's what lives back here. This is my 5th and final planner in my layout. And again, I just have tabs for all of my planners just so I can easily sift through them each morning, get everything done and out of the way. We also have this reference section in the back, which I'll just briefly talk about. So this is the 5th tab on my side tabs, and in it I have 4 different bottom tabs where I have it divided up into personal, business, social, and education. So I have this cool dashboard for this, along with this guy. We've got another layered dashboard with the fall theme. Again, this was all in my fall planner refresh. I have this one here as well. Did I skip one? I might have skipped one. Oh, no, okay, I'm doing okay. So yeah, then we have this one, we have the social, and then we have education. And then finally, we have my note section. One last dashboard divider with some note pages. My pocket folder that I made as well last year, DIY'd that, and my back cover with my pen loop. Okay, I think that's it, you guys, for the flip through. Let me know if you have any other questions for me real quick in the chat before we run away. But I'm so happy you guys were able to join me today. I hope I got all of your questions answered. And if I didn't, please feel free to drop me a comment down below after the video's over, and I'll be sure to address it there if you have anything else that you are wondering about. Oh, I do see one that just popped in. It said top tabs. What are the labels? Yeah, let me talk about that real quick. So for these top tabs, I have a tab or a label for each that is for each planner. So each one starts off with the planner name. So either faith, health, daily, hourly, or finance. So those are the front part of the tab. And then it will read faith like month, faith overview, faith week, and then if there's a fourth tab, it'll be whatever that is. So almost all of them have month, overview, and week, those first 3 tabs. And then the outside tab here is health meds for the meds and supplications habit tracker. I have my daily, which I have saying daily currently right now, but that's my schedule section. That's this page. I also have the finance section that has finance, and that's my Etsy sales perpetual calendar. So that's how they're all listed out. So faith month, faith overview, faith week, health month, health overview, health week, daily month, daily overview, daily week, etc., etc. Let's see, what size rings do I use? Currently on this planner, we have the Happy Planner Expander rings, which are 1.75 inches. I find that they work pretty well with the amount of stuff that I have in here. I was pretty against having expander rings for a long time just because they seemed a little too big, but they work when you have enough stuff to fill it out, I feel like. But my preferred size would be 1.5, and those, I have some from Tool that I got a long time ago on clearance that I was using maybe 2 years ago, and I really love those. So if you're not quite ready to go full expander, but you need something bigger than a standard Happy Planner Classic size, I would highly recommend the 1.5 size, which is available in many of the like Staples, Office Depot brand sizing. That's just a nice in-between size, and I really loved that size actually. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't see any other questions coming through, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But again, I thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing to my channel. Also, too, go ahead and give me a like or a comment if you want to get in touch. And yeah, again, thanks again. I will see you next time. Bye.